Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Thursday. The markets were up today. So were the Bitcoin miners for the most part. I think there were only two that were down today. Bitcoin is obviously up as well today. We got a story on Exxon Mobile, CME Bitcoin Futures, BlackRock, and Marathon's presentation. We'll take a look at their presentation slideshow for that. We'll go kind of over the numbers a little bit towards the end of it. But first, let's get into the miners, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we'll go from there. As always, not financial advice. Do your own research. You know the drill. I'm invested in the following companies and coins, and let's take a look at the miners here first. So here's Annie. Annie was up 6.67% today to $2.08. It is now above the 20-day moving average here on the chart. We can see, which is a good sign. The 50-day isn't too far above it, so it's possibly going to be battling it here like it did a couple of times here in the past. So we'll have to see how this plays out going forward. Argo was up 12% today, was up nicely to 98 cents. It is now above the 50-day moving average. It actually closed above it, which is good. So now we just want to make sure that it can maintain that basically drive up. And we'll see if it can do that going forward. Bitfarms was up today 7.59% to $3.97. It also finished up the day above the 50-day moving average, which is also a good sign. And we're getting close to where that 50-day and the 20-day moving average will possibly cross, which also could be a good sign as well. Cleanspark was up 5.29% today to $13.14. It is still nicely above the 100-day moving average here, the green line, and it is battling with the 200-day moving average right now. It's touched it yesterday, came pretty close today as well, and then we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, we had the cross on the 20-day and the 50-day moving average here a while back, which is a good sign, which obviously has helped Cleanspark continue its rally going up. Core Scientific was actually down today 1.36% to $8.68. It is sitting right now on the 50-day moving average, and it is acting kind of like support right now, it almost looks like. We'll see if this continues going forward or not. Digihost was up today nicely 12.95% to $3.49. It is now above the 50-day moving average here. It has been battling with it for a couple times here in the past. We can see that was above it here back in, this was February 4th. Through the 11th or so. It seems like it was battling it there. Tried to do it again here back in the 3rd of March, and now it's done it again, so we'll see if this continues on. And DMG was up 1.16% to 48 cents. It is, I think it started up higher today in the morning, came back down a little bit, so it's right now battling with the 20-day moving average. You can see the line here is acting as support. And it looks like the 20-day moving average or the 50-day moving average is still acting as resistance for it. We see it a couple times here. So we'll see if we can get above it as well. Hive was actually up today 8.5% on the day to $2.17. It has finished up today nicely above the 50-day moving average as well. And our next possible resistance is going to be the 100-day moving average, which just crossed over the 200-day not too long ago. So we'll see how that holds up. Hut 8 was up 6.26% on the day to $6.11, and it is now above the 50-day moving average also. It has tried it a couple of times here in the past. Last month, it wasn't able to maintain it. We'll see how it does. Obviously, it all depends on what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin goes up, these guys are going to go up. And then Iris Energy was down 4.23% on the day to $13.82. It is still above the, looks like the 50-day moving average. It did cross over the 20 and the 50 back on February 25th. And we'll see if we can keep above it or not. Well, time will only tell on that one. Lux was up 11.924% to 27 cents, almost 28 cents. It is also battling with the 50-day moving average. It looks like it's resistance for it. Support seems to be the 20-day moving average. Obviously, whatever Bitcoin does, these guys are going to do the same thing, so we'll see how that plays out. Marathon was up nicely as well today, 3.69% to $30.33. It is right now between the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average. And it looks like we're going to get a cross on the 200-day moving average with the 100-day coming up here. And then we got Mawson. Mawson was up 2.67% to $5. It is nicely above the 50-day moving average as well. And Riot was up nice as well, 3.36% on the day to $21.54. And it is getting close to the 100-day moving average, which looks like it's going to become resistance for it. So we'll see how it does. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin right now is at 43,953. It did go up to 44,241 on the day. I think went up a little bit higher here as this, yeah, well, no, actually 42,000, right around there. So 44,241 was the high that we reached. We are obviously taking a little break here, it looks like. If you look at the RSI, we peaked at about 72 or so. And over the last couple hours, it has been trending down. However, the price is holding pretty steady right now. So we'll have to see how this plays out going forward. I think we may continue this run up. We may be trading sideways for a couple more hours. RSI is possibly going to go down a little bit more, giving us a little bit more room to run up as well. Ethereum was up as well. It's up to $3,107. It is trading sideways right now as well. RSI has come down a little bit over the couple hours. So we may see that going forward. We may have a little dip, and then we may go back up. We'll have to see how this plays out. Finally, let's take a look at Bitcoin's hash rate. Let's reload this really quick. So it has come down to 206 right now, exahash. So we are kind of still in that flat spot where we're trading sideways on it, on the hash rate right now. I think as more miners get installed, that will obviously increase. So let's take a look at our first story here. Let me turn off my highlighter. Get rid of that. So Exxon Mobile is looking to expand. So Exxon is mining Bitcoin with excess gas report. The fourth largest oil company in the world is now considering taking its gas to Bitcoin pilot to 4 other countries. So the largest U.S. oil producer, Exxon Mobile, is considering expanding its North Dakota Bitcoin mining pilot program to further reduce the volume of natural gas it routinely burns off or flares into the atmosphere, Bloomberg reported Thursday. There's an agreement with Crusoe Energy Systems to redirect gas that would otherwise be wasted from an oil well pad to mobile Bitcoin miners. The report said the pilot project launched in January of last year in North Dakota's Beacon and expanded in July. Now it consumes up to 18 million cubic feet of gas per month that Exxon couldn't otherwise monetize. So this is really good thing there. Exxon is now considering similar pilot projects in Alaska, the Ibo terminal in Nigeria, Argentina's Vaca Muerta shale field, and Guyana and Germany, one of the people told Bloomberg. So Bitcoin mining enables oil producers to sell gas they accidentally find while drilling for oil, not only bringing more profits to those companies, but also contributing to the environment, as such energy source is commonly wasted due to lack of nearby pipelines. So this is good. You're at least converting that wasted energy into something that's useful, and you're able to provide to the Bitcoin network. So Denver-based Crusoe helps those companies capture otherwise wasted surplus gas from their energy production, convert it into electricity, and use it to power data centers and Bitcoin mining operations. The firm estimates that Bitcoin mining allows carbon dioxide equivalent emissions to be reduced by 60% compared to routine flaring. So this is obviously another positive here. President of environmental shareholder activist group As You Sow, Daniel Fuerge, don't know how to pronounce that, told Bloomberg that these pilots are a positive step for Exxon to find a use for its excess gas. It is creating use of what would be otherwise wasted, she said. Oil and gas giant ConocoPhillips last month spun up similar operations also in Beacon, North Dakota, to sell excess natural gas to Bitcoin mining farm operated by a third party. And I think we're just going to continue seeing this kind of trend continue on as time goes on, especially if you are having these flares that are just burning for no reason other than you have access gas. You might as well put it to use and get something out of it, right? So they obviously pay for the gas, and then whoever the Bitcoin miners are, they obviously profit on it from that. So I'm not sure how much they're actually paying for that, but it's still, I'm guessing, a lot better than possibly paying the electricity company. Could be, could not be. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of that one. Next story is CME Futures premium hits highest level since early January. So the annualized, I can't speak, why? The annualized rolling premium is 3-month Bitcoin futures listed on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, a proxy for institutional participation, rose to 4.8% early Thursday, hitting its highest level since January 4th, according to data provided by Skew. This could be caused by bullish institutional investors and the ongoing rolls from the BTC ETFs, exchange-traded funds, which might cause buying pressure. Farther dated futures, Arcane Research said in a weekly research note published Tuesday. So you can see the chart here. It's pretty much back to where it was since January or so, which is a good sign. It's a good bullish sign. The total Bitcoin exposure in ProShares ETF trading under the ticker BITO on the New York Stock Exchange rose to a lifetime high above 28,000 BTC on Monday. Premiums on offshore exchanges also have risen in a sign of improving market sentiment. That said, futures are still drawing less than 10% premium, which indicates that leverage remains low and the recent move higher could be spot driven. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Obviously, we are having the Bitcoin expiry tomorrow, which is going to be Friday. So in the bulls basically have to keep Bitcoin above 42. If they want to make even more, they have to keep it above, I think, 44,000. So continue on here. So analysts remain confident about Bitcoin's prospects. Tens of thousands of Bitcoin being bought by Luna Foundation Guard and taken off the market will likely have a significant impact on price over the coming weeks, months. Global Block's Sotiori said Bitcoin bears will have a hard time fighting the buy pressure, and in my opinion, sellers will get exhausted, leading to a move to the upside above 45,000, assuming oil prices do not make new highs. And we're seeing Bitcoin now at 44,000, so it's not going to take much to get it above 45. Next story is on BlackRock. So BlackRock says Russia's war in Ukraine is the end of globalization. So globalization, if you're not aware what that is basically countries outsourcing some of their workforce to other countries that are cheaper to make certain goods. And then also obviously importing like gas, oil from other countries. So Russia exports a lot of oil into the European Union, right? This is kind of what he's talking about here on that topic. So Russia's invasion of Ukraine has ended globalization as we know it, says the head of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink told shareholders in a letter on Thursday that Russia's decoupling from the global economy following its assault on Ukraine has caused governments and companies to examine their reliance on other nations. Right, so there's a big problem. The EU is heavily reliant on Russia's oil. The money that EU pays for the Russian oil is obviously driving the price. Well, not the price. It's not what I want to say. It's not driving the price. It's basically putting money back into Russia's coffers to then continue on fighting in Ukraine. So the Russian invasion of Ukraine has put an end to the globalization we have experienced over the last 3 decades, Fink wrote. The CEO, whose company manages $10 trillion in assets, predicted that Russia's isolation will prompt companies and governments worldwide to reevaluate their dependence and reanalyze their manufacturing and assembly footprints. And we've kind of seen this already happen a little bit with the pandemic that we've just been through in the last couple of years. We're seeing that companies that have relied heavily on outside sources to be manufacturing things are now looking to do things internally in our country, in the United States, but all over the world. They're seeing that there's obviously some things that probably should be made in your own home country. And I think this trend is going to continue on. We obviously have a huge reliance on semiconductors. Those are made a lot in China, in Taiwan, Japan. We need to get that probably over here. Same thing with reliance on foreign oil. We're doing, I think, pretty good job here in the United States, pumping our own oil for the most part. And obviously other things that are, sometimes called national defense possibilities, things like that. So I think this trend is going to continue on as we go into the years here forward. And then finally, let's take a look at Marathon's slideshow here. So this was presented, I think, either earlier today or yesterday at some kind of conference that they were at. They provided this slide sheet here for us. So let's take a look at it. So securing and supporting the world's monetary network. Safe harbor, disclaimer, investor notice, Marathon at a glance. So agile, scalable, and sustainable. Their mission to support the development and security of the world's monetary network, the Bitcoin ecosystem, by building one of the largest, most agile, and most sustainably operated Bitcoin mining operations in the world. Their strategy is to invest in miners' infrastructure, our impact, increase hash rate, probability of earning Bitcoin, 566% from 3.5 exahash in January 2022 to 23.3 exahash in early 2023. They're deploying behind the meter at renewable power stations, 100% carbon neutral by the end of the year, 2020, and operating with low cost of power hosting, so blended mining cost of approximately $5,087 per Bitcoin. And then obviously here's the chart here. They want to be at 13.3 exahash mid-2022, so summertime, and then early 2023, fully deployed 23.3 exahash, which would make them one of the biggest ones out there. After I think possibly Core might be bigger because they do also do hosting and their own mining, but I believe they're going to be pretty close to that as well. So they're aggressively scaling mining operations to drive value. Here's some projections that they're saying. So by early 2023, once all 199,000 miners are deployed, and so they're assuming here that Bitcoin is going to be priced around 45,000, which is where it's kind of at right now. And the network hash rate is at 327 exahash. So the Bitcoin network right now is at 210. So they're guessing about a 50% increase from where it is today. And that's kind of what I'm estimating as well. So that would be pretty close to what I'm kind of estimating what's going to happen by the end of this year. If things hold the way they are, that would give Marathon Digital approximately 7% of the network, global network, and it would equate to about 58 Bitcoins per day, which would obviously give them about revenues of about 80 million a month or 953 million a year. Obviously, this is, you can't have it basically for the full year because Bitcoin price goes up and down. Hash rate obviously is going to continue increasing probably after that. So instead of 952 million, we could be someplace where it's lower, or we could be much higher depending on where Bitcoin price goes up, right? So something to keep in mind. Non-GAAP, don't really care about that right now. So a Bitcoin miner of a different breed. Marathon's mining method will be agile, get big, profitability, well capitalized, quality relationships, and then hodling all Bitcoins, 8,956 BTC and counting. So they're continuing to hodl their Bitcoins. Mining, the engine that fuels the Bitcoin ecosystem, how it works. We know how it works. Mining is critical infrastructure for the internet of money. So Web 3, right? We're getting to Web 3.0. Application universe would be like Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, what is that? Snapchat, or whatever that is, Walmart. Everybody's going to be possibly using some form of digital currency one way or another. Bitcoin dematerializing financial monetary networks, right? Open, global, permissionless, censorship resistant. Yeah, Binance, Coinbase, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Strike, NYDig, Galaxy Digital. You also have Square in there, which is now, what are they called now? Block. And you got, obviously, native units would be Bytes, Bitcoins, Network, AT&T, Verizon, Lumen, Marathon Digital for that, and other miners as well. Adoption is here, so 21 million BTC mined by 2,140. I'm not sure where they got the 22% of Americans own Bitcoin. Is that part of globally? This is the one thing that I don't know exactly how they're getting 22% of Americans. 22% of Americans owning Bitcoin would be, what, about 60 million or so? And then BTC market cap right now is at 803 billion, less than 10% currently held by institutions. So here's that adoption curve, right, that happens. You got first ones are enthusiasts, visionaries, pragmatics, conservatives, and then skeptics at the very end get on board. Asset-light model provides superior return on assets. Let's see here. Their mining operations, so Texas, Montana, hosted by Beowulf, South Dakota, Nebraska, hosted by Compute North, and Texas, obviously, hosted by Compute North as well. Bitmain is their leading industry, their leading supplier of miners. And then they're obviously innovating with the technology stack, application layers. So you got Block, Figure, Cash App, OpenSea, Strike, RSK. And then number 2 would be the layer 2, Lightning, smart contracts, sidechains, etc. So this is part of Marathon's research lab. They're accelerating the development and deployment of best mining practices. Marathon's incubator, supporting the development of new technologies and businesses seeking to build, expand, and enrich the Bitcoin ecosystem. So this is all good. Marapool, this is kind of nice. If you haven't checked out Marapool before, you can see actually what the rewards are for them. You can kind of calculate what they could be getting from it, but they obviously have other people in there. Then we got Foundry, he's obviously a big one. Marapool, F2 pool, Ant pool, Binance, via BTC, BTC.com, Slush pool. So there's quite a few big pools out there. And financial overviews, we've gone over that. They're currently at 35,510 miners deployed, generating 3.88 exahash, which is good. And obviously you're seeing that growth, you're continuing on. So company highlights, let's see here, 106 million in cash, 493 million in cash and BTC holdings. What else do we have here? And then their historical performance, Q4 financials. I think this is, yeah. So overall, nice little update here on where they want to be. We'll see where they end up with. They obviously have a lot of miners that need to get installed, and that is obviously going to take time. They need to obviously have the infrastructure in place, get them installed, get them operational, and that's a lot of miners to do that. So we'll see if they can keep pace with their schedule, basically. I'm a little hesitant, but we'll see if they can surprise me on that. All right, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. That's all I ask from you guys. And then we'll take a look at what's going on tomorrow, see how the miners do tomorrow, see if Bitcoin can get above maybe 45,000, which would be excellent. And then we'll obviously see how the Bitcoin expiry kind of finishes up the week for us tomorrow. So that's it. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then,